Blog Talk Radio.
So you don't have to be. Desperate House Witches is not a G, PG, or even an R-rated show. So, bad language, bodily function, dirty talk of any kind might offend you. This is not the show for you. Desperate House Witches is brought to you by my guest today, owner of Wicked Witch Studios, my wonderful, wonderful friend, and we're going to get into their products in a minute. The incredibly wicked one herself, the amazing Dorothy Morrison, is with me for the hour. Hello, my friend.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, my gosh. I'm good. I'm good. It's been a very exciting time in my life. How about you? How are you doing?
I am doing fine. I've got a cold like everybody else does right now, and it is the cold that never ends. And no one should be able to manufacture this much snot. That's all I can say.
Oh, poor thing. I mean, the way you describe it is funny, but I'm sure it's not fun.
Well, it's not as bad as it was, but there was one day when I went through a whole box of Kleenex, and I told Mark that we needed to buy stock in Procter & Gamble.
Oh, geez. Oh my gosh! And how is your wonderful spouse?
He is better. Right before Thanksgiving, we thought he had sciatica, and that is miserable.
Wow.
Because I've had it, and I've done appearances when I had it, and so I knew what he needed. And of course, men are stubborn. And he kept saying, well, I can't take this and I can't take that because, of my kidney issues, blah, blah, blah. And so finally he got bad enough where he went to the emergency room. And they sent him home and told him to take aspirin. And then I sent him to his nephrologist, and she wasn't there. And her nurse practitioner told him to take extra-strength Tylenol for arthritis. And I told him, I said, that is not going to work. You need you need a steroid to get rid of that inflammation. And so finally he came home and he was, pissing and moaning. And I said, have you been to urgent care? And he said, no. And I said, well, you get in the truck and you go to urgent care and don't come back until you've been. Well, I mean, finally, because this went on for like a week. And, Thanksgiving came and went, and now it's a week later and we're still going through this. And so he comes home, and they gave him a shot. And so anyway, a couple of days later, though, a nurse practitioner from our network called to see if he was better, and he said no. And so she had him come straight in, and she put him on medication. In the meantime, he is diagnosed with RSV, which he did not have until he went to urgent care.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yes. And so then, of course, he gave it to me.
Oh,
and
great. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Yes, and so we have both been through this, and he got released, and then I went in to see the same practitioner who had treated him for it, and she treated me, and now I have been released. But after you get rid of all that, it you have the remnants, and it just seems like they don't go away. So now I am filling orders with a mask and gloves so that I don't send germs to anybody.
Well, that's thoughtful. I appreciate that.
Well, but because it's like if it is as contagious as it says, as they're saying that it is, I don't want to do that. I want to take precautions. But, I'm beginning to think that this really and truly is like, normally when I catch a cold, it doesn't go away in 7 days. I have a cold for 3 months. I have a cold for a whole season. I do, okay?
Yeah,
and so I can't just go to bed with it. And this is like that kind of cold. So I don't know if it is any worse than that or not, or if it's just another excuse for us to get vaccinated for something. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, and I'm so tired of getting shots. I can't even tell you. Like every other month.
I'm tired of it too, and this is kind of my fault because I did not go in. I have not yet had my 2023 COVID booster or my RSV because I got busy. But now I'm having eye surgery in January, and I can't get those vaccinations until after my surgery. So now I'm just having to be extremely careful.
Right.
Which is also irritating.
I know. Oh, believe me, I know. Even when
it's always something.
When you have something as simple as a cold, it's unbelievable because you don't know right away if you're coming down with something worse than a cold, or if you've got the COVID, or if you've got the RSV. You just don't know right away, and then you're playing a guessing game with your life as far as, do you still go into the office if you have an office to go into, or do you call the doctor? Is it time for that yet? Or, there's just so many variables now, and you don't want to give it to anybody, obviously. And, God forbid you walk into an office with a sneeze or a cough, and everybody looks at you funny, even if it's just a simple head cold. Yeah.
And unfortunately, this nurse practitioner knew her stuff. She immediately sent me to get a 3-in-1 swab, which tests for flu and COVID and RSV. And I was negative for flu and negative for COVID. So, and I guess I should be grateful for those things. But, I managed not to get COVID during the pandemic. And so, because I had my vaccinations and I had my boosters and all that good stuff. So, anyway, I had never actually been tested for it. And so I walk into this lab, and I asked this girl, I said, so you're going to do this swab, and you're going to have to tell me what you're going to have to do because I've never had this done. And she said, well, I'm going to swab with this, and she's got this really long Q-tip-looking thing. And I said, are you going to stick that up my nose? And she said, yes, all the way to the back. And I said, are you going to make my eyes water? And she said, yes. And I said, that's fine. I'm taking off my glasses now if you're going to make my eyes water. And so, so I got through it, and she looked at me, and she said, oh, my God, you held really still. You did better than anybody I've had do in like 6 or 8 weeks. And I said, honey, when you push something up somebody's nose, it can go all the way to their brain in a heartbeat. I wasn't going to move a muscle. And she just died laughing.
That's right.
But
God,
it's
that's
like
hilarious.
But, people twitch when they're doing that. Are you kidding me? Are they crazy?
I know. No, I know.
Oh.
And I've had so many people will go through it, and they were like, she stuck that thing all the way up my nose. I'm like, you're still here, so I guess she didn't hit your brain. You're all right.
Well, yeah, but I got to tell you, it took about 15 minutes after that for that to quit sticking. It's like, oh, my God. So, anyway, I'm glad that's done. And so hopefully I am on the mend, and that is good.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. I wanted to talk to you about the wonderful, because it's that wonderful time of the year. It's the gift-giving season, and you know how much I love the gift-giving season, and you know how much I love the home blessing ornament that I have to have every year. You want to tell the folks about the home blessing ornaments?
Absolutely. I have done these for myself forever, and I swear that it is those home blessing ornaments are the reason that things go fairly smoothly in my life year to year.
Yep.
These are an annual thing. I do them every year for my customers, and every year they are just a tad different, just a little bit different. This year, they're filled with layers of herbs and goodies, and they have like the bottom has some holographic dollar sign confetti in it, and then there is some of the Charmed Life mixture that goes in my little Charmed Life spell jars. This year, I also have a layer of spearmint, and I always do this during an election year, and I do it to cool tempers, because election years have gotten tempers have gotten really out of control during election years.
Sure.
Families won't speak to each other because they're very passionate about their politics. And so I do that on election years, and so I've done that for the 2024 Home Blessing Ornament. They also have a layer of rose petals to, promote love and affection. They have cloves, okay, which gives them a little spice. There is a layer of black-eyed peas for protection and for money drawing and so on and so forth. And they're topped off with a small piece of St. John's root, John the Conqueror root, to magnify everything and conquer any kind of drama that would go on in your home, and a tiny sprinkling of shredded money. And you hang these either over your front door or in one of your front windows, and they protect your house all year long, and you change them out on New Year's Day with the next year's.
Yes. Fortunately, because I have two doors, I obviously get one for each door, and your Auntie Raina always tells you, balls are better in pairs. That's how they go. But I love these things, and I have to tell you that I have noticed over the years since we started getting them from you that our house, and I know people are going to think I'm crazy, but I don't care. It has made a difference. It makes a difference in the harmony of my home. Not that anyone disagrees politically, but, that's not the only reason that you would have disharmony in your home. I'm a bit of a cranky girl. I admit that. I'm not always on my best behavior, but I do believe that with these blessing balls makes a huge difference in my year. We went through some really interesting times in the last couple of years between my husband's accident and, some other interesting things. But we have managed to keep our heads above and really persevere, even in difficult situations. So I have to say, these home blessing ornaments really are the deal. I would be very unhappy without them, that's for sure.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because I get emails from people all the time and they'll say, I thought these were cute and I thought I'd buy one, but my God, they have made a difference. I have a customer who started a catering business on the side, and she ordered hers this year, and she said, "Oh my God, since I have gotten that, okay, I've got a regular full-time job," and she said, "I do this on the side, but now I'm going to actually have to hire people." And she said, and I feel safe in my home. And she said, and I feel safe even in my backyard for the first time in a long time. And, you know,
wow.
and that really warmed my heart because sometimes, you know, I'm like everybody else. And sometimes I go, is what I'm doing or what I'm offering really making a difference for people? And when I got that email from her, I thought, you know what? Okay, so, you know, this little thing that I made really did make a difference for her. Hooray! You know, so yeah. So
we feel
you know,
like our home is protected with them for sure. Mark, my Mark, not Dorothy's Mark, my Mark. Absolutely, the year cannot start without our little ritual of hanging the new ones and taking down the old ones and thanking our deities for, you know, giving us another year of success and health, wealth, and happiness, as I call it. And it is a family ritual. We do it every year now, as you know. And it does make us feel safe in our home, believe it or not. And I live in a city. I live in a very nice city, but I still live in a city. And we feel like we are in a protected, magical space because of these ornaments. And they do help. And, you know, it's just a sweet reminder when you walk through it, the threshold of our home, whether you're coming in the front door or the back door, the house is protected on both ends, which for me was very important.
Well, yeah. You know, now I'm going to ask you, because I don't think I've ever asked you this. People ask me all the time, and I have an answer for this, but I'm curious. What do you do with the previous year's ornaments?
The previous year's ornaments? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well,
I'm sorry.
Okay, do you pull the top off and empty them and toss them in the trash, or do you do something else with them?
Depending on what layer I hit first, sometimes I have burned the contents. That's not necessarily a good idea. Sometimes I flush, depending on the previous year, and sometimes, but I always empty them. I do like to empty them because if it has absorbed any kind of quantity of my negativity, I don't want someone to find it and then have that brought upon them, so I always do empty them. Absolutely.
Okay.
And
some people.
And I thank Dee for another great year, you know.
Yeah. And that's a great idea to do that, because I give people options when they say, you know, what do I do with that? Some people keep them and they hang them on their holiday tree. Okay?
Oh, neat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a picture the other day, and it was very, very cool. She has a broom that hangs, it looks like a handmade broom that hangs over her front door. And she has all the previous years, she has them staggered throughout the broom.
Oh, wow.
And she just leaves them up and hangs the new one by, you know, in the next spot.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that's kind of a cool idea, you know, because I never even thought of that. But anyway, yeah. So you know what people do with them, whether they dispose of them or they don't, you know, is really up to the person. But see, I think you have a great idea, because if there's any kind of negativity at all, then that gets tossed and you're done. Yeah.
I also, believe it or not, I also do a ritual with the brooms that I have, because I have cinnamon brooms by both doors as well. And at the end of the year, not only do we change, we change the brooms every year before Yule. So we are about to put in our new brooms for Yule. We take our old brooms and we also discard them for the same reason. We'll kind of like mess them up some so they don't, so somebody doesn't try to repurpose them and pick up. Because I'm very conscious about negativity, and I'm very conscious of who I am as a person and some of the emotions and shit that I bring into my home. So when I have some of these magical tools that can't necessarily be quote-unquote cleansed, I do believe that some things should be changed out. Some things you can charge, salt, sage, whatever, moonlight, sunlight, and do all the, selenite, doing all the cleanings, that's fine. But I do think some things should just be replaced. And as far as, the ability to carry energy, I'm very conscious of the fact that I don't want anyone having to deal with any kind of mess that I might have made, and I don't want to spread it around. So, so for the brooms, protecting, my doorways and our finances and our health and all of the things that we also have the home blessing ornaments for, I like to change out both. I definitely like changing out my brooms every year for fresh brooms. And, of course, I love having my brand-new, fresh home blessing ornaments because not only are they wonderful and not only do they, contain anything negative for me that I may bring into my home, but they're beautiful, and I love getting a new one every year. I just, they're pretty. You always make them a little different. It's a regeneration thing for me. I just love it.
Aw. So now about these cinnamon brooms. So you don't just use the cinnamon broom to bring in money. You also use it for protection?
I do.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because most people, buy cinnamon brooms to bring in money because cinnamon is a money draw, and so. That's good because most folks don't ever think about a broom can multitask, no matter what it's scented with.
Yeah.
And besides that, cinnamon brooms make your house smell good.
Yeah, you want fresh ones to make you want that fragrant. Well, I do. I love cinnamon. It's one of my favorite fragrances. It's a family favorite as well. So it is all, and they do fade over time, and listen, even the grocery store you can buy cinnamon brooms if you want to, when they're available, of course, which is only during the, certain holidays. But I want fresh. I want regeneration. I want new energy. I want clean energy. Every year for me is a chance to start over. That's how I look at it,
Yeah. A lot of people, somebody asked me the other day why I didn't do the blessing ornaments, Samhain to Samhain, since Samhain is it's supposed to be the witch's New Year. And and it's, and I told him, I said, I guess I could, but we in America are not wired that way. Yes, we have Samhain, but that's also Halloween, and that's a time for kids and trick or treating and so on and so forth. And and then all across the world, though, we have New Year's and fireworks go off, and there's a big hoop-de-doo. And so, really and truly, even though, in a way, we start our new year, as witches, we start our new year at Samhain, the other part of us starts it on New Year's Day. And so, well, really, I mean, when the numbers turn, I mean, this is, And so they kind of went, oh, okay.
But I love that. If you have family members that are not necessarily pagan or whatever kind of spirituality our folks, are practicing, it's a way to incorporate everybody into a New Year blessing at the same time. I love our holidays. I do. but not every member of the family believes the same way. And I like to encourage everybody, especially listen, I have a child who is still figuring out what they want to believe, because I believe religion is a very personal thing, and I have a husband who's Buddhist. So, to completely foist my beliefs and we're going to do it this way and this way only, I don't think would necessarily work in my house, because it wouldn't feel very fair to me. So, it's a traditional day for regeneration for me, New Year's Day. Samhain is very important to me for a lot of other reasons. I talk to my beloved dead at that point, and, I do ask for blessings for the new year, and I also thank, my ancestors for being with me and keeping us protected during the previous year, and I ask that they would bless us again the following year. But yeah, I think doing it on New Year's morning, and it is the first thing we do in our house, is change the home blessing ornament. And it's just become such a wonderful ritual in the house. No one's allowed to leave the house until the ornaments are changed.
And you see, and it's something that you do together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
yeah, and that is very, very cool. I'm all about holidays, and so we celebrate both Yule and Christmas.
Yep.
And now I have to say that this year the Christmas tree did not go up, the Yule tree did not go up. Okay,
No.
because neither Mark nor I felt like dragging that out and decorating it. But that's okay. And we don't do it anymore. We don't do a whole bunch of gift giving for either thing. Our anniversary is the 27th, and so I stopped all this years and years ago because it was kind of getting out of hand. And so I told Mark, I said, look, we're both old enough to buy what we want.
Right.
And we do. So how about we just exchange cards for Christmas and our anniversary? But you make damn sure you get me a good card. I don't want any cheap, crummy card. And he laughed. And so now that's what we do, and we do it for birthdays too. Because that works for us. But anyway, everybody has got their own little thing that they do, and there's so many winter holidays, and so anyway, I had to get. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say something really neat happened at my day job that I've got to tell you about, but you go ahead and finish your thought first, and then I'll tell you about mine as far as the number of holidays.
Honey, I have finished my thought. You go right on with this. I'm interested.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so this year something really unusual happened at work, and we had a Friendsgiving, and so we now have this diversity group that is supposed to be, it's diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it's about teaching folks to embrace other traditions aside from their own, and equality for all folks. Okay, beautiful idea, right? Well, they put out a calendar, a separate calendar for November and December, and on this calendar, it said Yule. And I said, wow, that's awesome. So that was the day we had Friendsgiving. So we're all sitting around having Friendsgiving at work, and I'm like, did everybody see that cool calendar that just came out today from corporate? And half of them hadn't had a chance to look at it yet, and they're like, no, what's on it? And I said, all these different holidays for December. And one of my friend girls turned to me and said, well, what do you celebrate? And I said, we celebrate Yule. Big and bad as shit I was. And I just thought, she's like, well, what's Yule? So I started to tell her, and they were all just sitting there looking at me, and not one backlash, not one sideways comment, not one crazy look, nothing. I was like,
how cool is that?
Growing up some. I know. I was astounded. I was thrilled, but I was astounded. But this has been kind of an astounding year for me, huh?
Yes, it has. So tell our folks what else is going on with you.
Okay. All right. So in August, my aunt passed away, my mother's sister, and she was my favorite family member, lovely person, was very kind to me when I was a child. A lot of folks know there was a lot of abuse in my household and a lot of crazy stuff. Well, my aunt passes away, and one of our family members has her papers because, you know, we didn't want things to be thrown away that might have been important. So one of my family members says, look at this. And she finds a birth certificate paper stating that one of our family members had a baby when they were very young. And this person wound up being my mother. So apparently my mother gave up a child when she was 17. I have, somewhere in the world, an actual half-brother. How exciting is that? He's older than me. So we're on the hunt for him. This other family member says to me, you know what? Why don't you do a DNA test? So I went on Facebook, and I said to the folks, what do y'all recommend? And everybody had different reasons for different ones that they've used, but the consensus was that I should use Ancestry. I said, okay, I'll do that. So I did that, and this past Friday, I got my results. And wouldn't you know it, I did not find my brother. But guess what I found instead?
What?
I'm going to tell you. My mother, now this part I knew. I knew my mother had a little outside action when she was very young and newly married, okay? I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you the facts. So it was believed that my mother had gotten pregnant on this little outside situation. Come to find out that this child was also put up for adoption. This is a girl. And lo and behold, my DNA results come back Friday, and I have a full-blood sister.
How cool is that?
How cool is that? And so I had always been raised to think that I had a half a sister. Oh, no, au contraire. This is my full-blood sister. So exciting for me. So exciting.
And so you've been in touch with her.
Yes, I have. We are joined at the hip, honey.
That is so great. You know, this is really magical. It really is. After all these years, and and so you are going to, y'all, I'm sure, are making arrangements to meet in person at some point.
We're still, you know what? This is so new. We are treading carefully because we're still kind of in shock because I'm 62, she's in her 50s. This is like your entire life has changed with one piece of information. And I did not realize the incredible impact this would have on me emotionally. But it is, I feel like a completely different person now because this other person is in my life.
But it's a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. It's the one thing I've always wanted. And having the one thing you've always wanted really kind of changes your perception of everything else because other things become so less important. It's startling. It's startling. You smile brighter, you stress less, fewer things will bother you. And I'm here to tell folks, Listen, you think a situation, it'll never change, you're too old, life can't turn things around. Oh, honey, I'm here to tell you that at 62, I have a brand new lease on life. It's just, it's magical, it's incredible. Yep.
Wow. So did you think, okay, I don't know, did you have other siblings growing up, or did you think you were an only child?
I thought it was just me.
Wow. So now you have a whole family.
Yeah.
Yes. How cool is that? And so you and your sister are now searching for your half brother. Is that correct? Yes.
I am. I have done some paperwork. I mean, could you imagine the shock she went through? First of all, she finds out about me after being fed a whole bunch of other stories, because as many stories as I was being given, she was being given completely different ones.
Wow.
So I only found out about my brother 3 weeks ago. Here she is finding out about her sister and a half-brother in one shot.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
I bet she's having a really hard time wrapping her head around all that.
Well, you know what? She is such a wonderful person. And I'm not just saying that. She truly is a wonderful, kind, loving, sweet person who cares about other people, who cares about other people's feelings. She's got a wonderful family. She has a husband and a daughter and a son, and my heart is so full. And I haven't even spoken to the rest of the folks in the family yet. I've just spoken with her, and my heart is just so full it wants to burst, I have to say. It's just been so incredible.
I am so excited for you.
Thank you.
I am so excited for you because now you find out that you have a niece and you have a nephew.
Yes.
And
yes.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God, what fun! I can hardly imagine, finding all that out. You and I are a few years apart, okay? But I can hardly imagine finding that out like at my age.
But we're not that. I mean, we're only a year or two apart, Dorothy.
No, baby, we're not. I'm going to be 69 in a few months.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was born in 55.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I keep thinking we're the same age, because you haven't aged a second since I've met you.
Oh, yes, honey, I have. You just haven't seen me in a while. Yes, I have. But yeah, honey, I'm old and cranky, and but
yeah, way.
Oh my goodness gracious. But anyway, a shock to the system, but a good one, because when you think about a shock to the system, you think, oh my God, it's something horrible, but sometimes it's something wonderful. And and when you find out something like this, though, when you're older, okay, if you had found out about this, say when you were 20, I think that no matter how you feel now, I think you would have been a lot more judgmental about things than you are today.
Well, you know me pretty well, so I will have to agree with that.
Yeah, well, I can look back at my own life and go, I was a lot more judgmental about things in my 20s. For one thing, I hadn't lived as long. I didn't have the kind of life experience. I hadn't been exposed to as much then as I have, since I'm older. And that makes a big difference in how you react to stuff.
I agree.
And
you're right about that. You're right about that for sure. Because you do know me pretty well, and you also know human nature pretty well. I probably would not have appreciated it the way I do now. And, like for me, one of the biggest questions I had was, did you have a happy childhood? And when she told me yes, it made it all worth it. It made it all worth it. Absolutely.
Oh, yes. It certainly did. And the other thing is, when you hit your 60s, you begin to realize, the whole time, I think up until you're 60, you still think somehow that you are 10 feet tall and bulletproof.
Yes.
And when you hit your 60s, all of a sudden, mortality kind of slaps you in the face a little bit. Not hard, but it taps you, okay? And that does make you think about family and connections and so on and so forth. It's like now, my sister is 9 years older than I am. And we are the only two left in our immediate family. We still have cousins, but our cousins are dropping right and left because they're older than we are. Excuse me. And so now it's important to me for us to spend as much time together as possible. Because, we know that now we're not going to last forever. God, I hope we have another, 25, 30 years. But we don't know that. And it has also made me feel like I have to spend more. My grandkids have pretty much started to grow up without me because I've been tied here and they're in North Carolina. And one is actually, one's going to be entering middle school next year, for heaven's sakes.
Wow.
And so, he's the oldest. But, now I want to spend time with them. I want to get to know these little miniature people. I do not want to continue to be the grandmother that they really don't know, and I'm the grandmother who sends them gift cards on birthdays and at Christmas.
Right.
You know, I want them to know something about me too. Yeah. And so and the time has come, for me to do that because nobody knows how much time they have left. When your Mark had that accident, you didn't know how much time the two of you were going to have left.
Absolutely.
Excuse me.
Oh, you're fine. But you're absolutely right. I did not know if he was going to pull through. I didn't know if he was going to come out of the, he was out of it. He wasn't responsive for a while. I had no idea if he had some kind of damage. I mean, there was just so much happening from that accident. And you're so right. We don't know because everything could have ended in an instant that morning.
Well, yeah.
And that's going on a few years ago, Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, yeah, but, when those kinds of traumatic things happen, that kind of makes you sit up and take notice about how fragile life really is and how you really need to make each moment count.
Yep.
Because the only thing that is really in short supply is time. We only have a certain amount of time in our lives. That's it. Yeah. And when that time is up, well, that's the end of that. And so, and this is, there's something else. I have a friend who has a ton of money. He probably has more money than he'll ever spend, and he has worked hard for it. But it is hard to buy him something, because he can buy whatever he wants. And so instead, I bake cookies for him. And I even told him one time, I said, I always feel bad because he always sends me, something great. And, for birthday or for Christmas or whatever. And I said, I kind of feel bad because I just sent you cookies. And he said to me, no, that means more to me than anything because you actually, no matter how busy you are, you actually take the time to do it for me because you know I love them. And so you have given me your time. And, you know, but you know, as I've gotten older, that has gotten to be so true because time is the most precious thing that you have. And when you're young, you don't realize it.
No, you don't. No, you don't. It's amazing to me how fast this life has gone. It feels like yesterday I was 20, don't you think?
Oh, honey, I remember when I was a teenager thinking that 30 was one foot on a banana peel and the other in the grave. I never dreamed that I would make it to 30, much less to my age. And, you know, and people are all the time telling me, oh, you're not old. And I'm thinking, oh, hell, yes, I am old. You know, 70 is around the corner. I'm old. And, you know, and of course, even just this year has gone by so quickly. I was in the bank the other day, and I looked up, and they had a calendar that they change every day. You know, it's a daily calendar, and it had a little Santa Claus hat sitting on it. It said 14 days until Christmas, and I went, oh, my God, really? You know, but, you know, and I don't know. I haven't checked with my astrological people. I have not checked with Storm Sestavani. I don't know what next year is going to bring because usually I ask him, is next year going to be better than this one? And he'll just say, no.
I know.
But, you know, you got to love him because he at least is honest about it. But I haven't even checked with him about it. But damn it to hell, I hope like hell that 2024 somehow, even with the damn election, is going to be better than 2023. I have just about had it with all of the, you know, infighting and all this kind of crap that is going on all around the world.
I know.
And something has got to give finally. Something has got to balance these scales out.
I agree. 100%. We can't keep going at this pace because I think as a country we're going to destroy ourselves if we don't get our shit together.
Oh, I think so too. You know, I am really, really concerned about that, and I am far too old to have to deal with much more of this crap. You know, much more. There is division everywhere you look. And I don't know whatever happened. You know, this country was founded on the basis of unity. It was the United States of America. And now I feel like we're all divided in so many different ways because everybody is striving to be unique. And so now we have all these labels, and now that causes division. And we're unique just by the very fact that we each exist. So when did it become so damned important?
I know.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be enough just to be a decent human being. Now it's like there's so many identifiers, and I'm like, can I just be old over here and relax? Thank you so much.
Yeah. You know, just being the best possible person you can be is not, you're right, it's no longer good enough. And
I mean, I'm still working on that part, but shit.
Oh, honey, I work on that part every day. You know.
Me too.
You know, every day. It's, in fact, I've gotten to the point where I take one day at a time. I am the best possible, possible person I can be in that day.
Yeah.
And then the next morning I start over again. You know, sometimes I do pretty good, and sometimes I fail miserably. But that's okay. I'm human.
Oh,
you know?
My gosh. I say the same thing. There are days I do okay, and I make somebody feel like, you know, they're important and I can make somebody happy, but I can't do it every day anymore. I stopped being that much of a people pleaser, and it's okay. It's okay. It's all right for me to just go ahead and be me for a while.
Well, yeah, it took me forever to learn to say no and not feel guilty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And,
oh, yeah.
I was telling somebody the other day that in my 20s, I couldn't even tell the paper boy no to a newspaper subscription that I didn't want and didn't have time to read.
Yep.
And, and finally, I learned to say no. I had to start out by saying, though, I'm sorry, I couldn't possibly, and looking someone dead in the eye and not saying another word.
It takes practice, for sure.
And then I learned to be able to say no, just that short little word. And people sometimes won't just take that for what it's worth. They'll ask me, why not? And so then I learned to say, because I don't want to.
Oh, yeah. That's, people think they're going to wear you down when they ask you. It's like, because that is what I just said. I have other plans. Well, what could you be doing that's so important? You have nothing to do with that aspect of my life. You don't need to worry about what I'm doing that's making me so busy. I'm so sorry I can't accommodate you. And then I make sure I never accommodate them again.
Well, yes. And, and I have learned that simple little 2-letter word is also magic.
Oh, it is.
Because it is freeing. Because I can't even tell you.
You know what? It's also self-preserving. I mean, there's got to be a time where you stop giving pieces of yourself away, especially when it's not reciprocated.
Well, yeah, and the other thing that I have learned not to do, Raina, is to ask someone, is there anything I can do to make this better for you? Because what has happened upon several occasions, if they said, well, yes, and then they have outlined something that really makes me uncomfortable, but I have already said, is there anything I can do? Then I have roped myself into this. So after I did that several times, I learned an important lesson that is also magic. I have learned never to give someone an option that I don't want them to take.
Right.
Because damn it to hell, they will take that option immediately. It happens every time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so don't bring that up, that this might fix it if it involves you and you're not going to want to do it. Because that is liberating as well. I once wound up, because I had screwed myself over with that, is there anything I can do? I'll do anything I can to help you. I wound up having to make a phone call and tell somebody something for someone else that I really did not want. I didn't want to make the call, and I didn't want to utter those words.
Oh, boy.
But I had to. Mm-hmm. And that was the end of it. This is when I learned my lesson.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had learned that lesson. Oh my gosh.
You did, and so you don't do that anymore?
Well, what I say instead now is, what can I do to help? And if there's a couple of different things, I get to pick whatever I want, as opposed to I'll do anything I can to help. It's subtle, but it is different. One gives you more options than the other.
Yes, because words are magic. Yes. Yeah, words are magical. It's all in your delivery. It's all in how you carefully choose your words. Yes. Oh, my God.
I know.
Oh, goodness.
A couple of maneuvered words can change an entire meaning. But, Dorothy, I want to talk, if you've got a couple of extra minutes that you can spare me, because I'm always talking your ear off, but I haven't even talked about the mystery packages. Can we talk about that stuff?
Oh, yes. Okay, this year I decided to do something a little different. I usually offer mystery packages in the month of May because it's my birthday month. But this year I decided to offer mystery packages also at the end of the year. The ones that I do in May can be purchased with the help of my tarot deck. Now, that is not a reading. What I do is I pull 3 cards for each package, and the cards tell me what go in. You know what's going to go in that box. But at the end of the year, it's like, nope, no help from the cards, no help from anything. This is just a mystery, and it's a mystery to me too. When the order comes in, you know, I don't even know what's going to go in the box until I put it in. And there are 3 different sizes. Yeah, it's because it's fun for me too. So there are 3 different sizes. There's like one for every budget. There is one for $25 plus postage. One for, I think it's either just a second. I'm going to look real quick because I can't remember off my head. Let's look at this. Yes, there is one for $40, okay, and there is a large one for $50, all plus postage.
Yep.
And every package is guaranteed to be the retail value more than what you spend for the package itself. And this has been really fun because I've gotten several emails that have gone, oh, well, you nailed it. I had all these problems, and I got my package, and guess what? And so that's what's going on through the end of December. And so, you know, two little goodies in December. You know, the year-end packages and the annual blessing ornaments. So there you have it.
And how do folks get them, Dorothy? How can folks order?
Okay. They can. The easiest way for them to order, really and truly, is to go over to my Facebook page. Just search Dorothy Morrison, and it'll come up because the links are there. They're at Wicked Witch Studios, www.wickedwitchstudios.com. The year-end mystery packages are that, okay? /yearendmystery.html, and the blessing ornaments are www.wickedwitchstudios.com /2024blessingornaments.html.
Awesome. I love it. And they're always a surprise. And I always love when I get one. And how long do we have to order these goods? I mean, between the home blessing ornaments and the mystery packages, how much time do we have?
Okay. The last day for either one of those is going to be the last day of December. Now, you know, some people ordered these blessing ornaments for gifts, and I cannot guarantee at this point that they will arrive in time for Yule or Christmas because it's already the 13th.
Right.
But so, you know, if you don't have to, you know, if you don't have to worry about that, then that's great. But you know, I do want people to know that I cannot guarantee it. And while I send everything out priority mail, I do not send anything out express because it would cost you far more than the merchandise that you're actually, you know, purchasing. So anyway, but if you're just ordering them for yourself or your family, the blessing ornaments, you know, you don't need them till January 1st anyway.
Right, exactly, which is why they're such a great gift, especially if you do miss Yule and giving a gift for Yule, this is still a very appropriate gift, and you don't have to have it by Yule. You can have it shortly thereafter or whenever it shows up, obviously. But it's a great gift for that.
And one of the things that I would suggest for people, if you want to order these for gifts, you can go over to the ordering page and print a picture of it if it's not going to be there in time. Put that in a package and let people know that it's on the way.
Oh, what a neat idea. That's great. That is great. I love that idea.
So,
that didn't even occur to me. What a cool thing to do. I love it.
I have done that before when I have ordered gifts for people in plenty of time, but there was a delay here or there or whatever, and I just wrap it up pretty, just like a regular Christmas package, and then they can see what's coming. Hooray! And they know that you didn't forget about them. Yeah.
That's so sweet. That is so sweet. What a great idea, Dorothy. Life is so hectic, and it's been such a hectic year. And Christmas, I got to tell you, between Yule and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all these other things, it really snuck up on me this year.
Well, it snuck up on me too. And so this year, we kind of made it easy. With the kids, we sent them a check because it's always the right color and it always fits. Okay,
you got that right.
And our grandsons are of the age now where they want to buy their own stuff, and they like gift cards because it's like having a credit card, and they feel grown up. Yeah. And so we did that this year too, and so we got that done because if I had to deal with ordering stuff and getting it in on time and all that and getting it all wrapped up and stuff, I don't think I'd have made it this year. In fact, I ordered a jacket that I wanted for Yule, and I ordered it toward the end of October. And it kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. It just shipped yesterday, believe it or not.
Wow. Holy
I didn't
crap.
cancel the order because customer service was really, really good about getting back to me on this. And they didn't charge my card before it was going to ship. But, it was like, really, am I going to have this in time? Well, I guess maybe I am.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. That would be great if you get it on time. I'm pretty sure you will. I hope you do. That would be lovely. Because I know you are so conscientious about getting packages out in such a timely manner that when I have followed your instructions, okay, it is important to follow instructions. If you are following instructions, I have never had an issue getting any of my packages from you. So I'm tickled to death because you are so customer forward and customer caring with your business, and I just want you to know how much I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. The one thing I learned long ago was this. Customer service is everything. People can spend their money with anybody, but you want them to spend it with you, and the only way to do that is provide stellar customer service.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Absolutely.
My mother is patting me on the back from the grave now. You know that? that somebody
right.
called me conscientious.
Well, because you are, and it is appreciated. And, I do love you for that. And I really think folks could take a lesson about how to treat customers, how to make a customer feel important. You always do. You always have. And I'm just telling you, it feels like a lost art. Really good customer service seems to be one of those things that's a little lost in the current generation. And I got to tell you, it means the world when someone cares that you get your package on time, when someone cares that they are packaging things correctly. I've seen things from other places that are kind of half-assed and slipshod, and it's a pain. I've never had anything come from you broken. Everything is always perfect, well-wrapped, well-presented, well taken care of, and it's not because we're friends. I was a customer before I was a friend. So
yes.
I got to tell you, it has nothing to do with a relationship. It has to do with the quality of person, vendor you're dealing with. And it is very important that we also support pagan businesses. I know this is something I talk about a lot, and I talk about it a lot because it's important. You know, back in my day, we didn't have a lot of that. We didn't have a lot of pagan businesses, and we wanted pagan businesses to be mainstream. And the only way to make pagan businesses mainstream is to give them your support. Do not go to a mass market store and buy something that somebody made 7,000 of on a machine with no heart and no soul. I got to encourage folks, please, if you don't have a local place, at least support pagan businesses like Wicked Witch Studios. I implore you. It's super important. The only way these businesses continue to be able to provide products for us is through our support. Thank you.
Gosh, we should have recorded that.
We did.
Thank you.
Just now.
Oh, yes, I guess we did, didn't we? Yes, we did. Oh my God.
Yes, we did.
Well, but thank you. Not just from me and from my heart, but for all the pagan businesses out there, because we really do care, and we cater to what you want and what you need. Yeah. And yeah. So yeah, please, because God, when I was coming up, there was hardly anything out there.
Yep.
Because now we all know that I'm older than dirt, and so there really wasn't, and so but really, your pagan businesses will take an interest. If you're not sure what you need, email them and tell them, look, I've got this situation going on. What do you think I need? And a good business person will email back within a day or two and give you some recommendations or some options. And you're not going to get that kind of customer service with a big box store.
Not at all. Not at all. And it's made such a difference, especially if you're doing a magical working, you're having a real issue. You're actually going to speak with someone when you go to a pagan business and you email a pagan business. If those people are not showing an interest in you, try another pagan business, because what they won't do for you, another business will. But it's
Absolutely.
So important. It is so important to support our pagan businesses and to give from our heart. I love unique creations. I love the things that Dorothy does specifically because I've been buying them for so long. We're allowed to have favorites, of course, but, wherever you can support a small business, you are helping a family directly. It's not going to a big box corporation. You are actually putting food on the table. And isn't that a beautiful thing? Isn't that a beautiful thing? To help somebody pay their bills and you get something that they have made with their heart. How beautiful is that? Dorothy, I love you.
I love you too. And we have run out of time, haven't we?
Oh, I threw a few extra minutes in there because I couldn't shut up. But I love you to pieces. It's all recorded. It's all recorded for playback. But I just wanted to tell you, as always, thank you for spending time with me. I know how busy you are because you are doing all of these great products. And I love you to death, and I love every minute I get to spend with you.
Oh, I love every minute I get to spend with you, too. And I so appreciate you having me on. And you have the most wonderful holiday season ever and the happiest New Year.
You too, Dorothy. Thank you. And you'll be back for your birthday month in May.
Okay. We'll make that happen.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
honey.
making it happen. All right.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Sounds good. Bye-bye. All right, guys, once again, that's wickedwitchstudios.com. Please check out the social media page on Facebook for direct links. Just have to look up Dorothy Morrison, and it'll take you right there. Have a wonderful night. I will probably see you tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody. Take care.